Chapter 11. Peaceful. Well, somewhat peaceful, is what I felt lying asleep next to Shuichi. From the way his breathing was slow, and the way he created a warm atmosphere around me, gave me this tingly feeling inside, the one that made me want to start uncontrollably giggling, or start just fawning over all the little things he does. Wait. Oh my Atua. I sound like a high school girl who is obsessed with a crush, the typical one in a manga that is always blushing and fantasizing about someone. Is that me? I mean, I will admit that I do like him a lot, to put that in a more accurate terms, but that doesn't mean I'm going to become a possessive, clingy, obsessive high school girl over him. I want him to respect me as I respect him, because if this relationship has a good foundation that will help bring it to a better state in the future when me and Shuichi... I'm getting off track. 1. I am not tired. 2. I am not going to be able to sleep longer than I already have, regardless of the fact that Shuichi is so cute and cuddly right now. 3. I want my brain to function, so I can't sit and be unentertained. I need to do something. With that, I slowly made my way off the bed, taking note of the small, disapproving noise Shuichi made, as well as the fact that this didn't wake him up. Which is good, because I would feel so guilty if I, a person who is a workaholic in the later hours of the day because of my insomnia, made Shuichi, a person who is more productive if he gets the sleep he needs, lose his sleep. Shaking my head and refocusing on getting my body completely off his bed. After finishing my first task, I made sure to leave my scarf where I was, so he had something to hold on to. Seeing as right as I placed it where I was moments ago, Shuichi grabbed it and pulled it closer to him, holding it as if it was me. Feeling embarrassed about the ping of jealousy that went through my body, I went over to Shuichi's dresser drawers. I was looking for something I could write on, and something I can write with. I need to make some sort of puzzle for my brain to solve, or a challenge, or something. You know, the typical things you do at 3 a.m. Well, more specifically, the typical thing for me to do at 3 in the morning. I finally found a dresser with 3 notebooks in it. They were a plain gray color, with a black binding. It was almost relieving finding them. I took one out and it was completely blank. I was a bit confused about this. I would have expected my beloved Shumai to have some sort of dorky, poetic, or even detective thing that he was obsessed with writing out. Guess I was wrong. I mean, I briefly looked over the notebooks again and investigated the drawers to make sure there wasn't any sort of fake bottom. To my own demise, I was met with nothing. Are you serious? Not even one interesting secret? I sighed softly as my tone was almost silent. When I am awake at night, I say words, but sometimes they are not accompanied with a sound. It can often be seen as weird, but I see it as convenient, because it makes my nightly routine almost silent. And at the end it makes me the winner, because no one will know that I am awake. I soon found a pen on the desk area above the drawers. I smiled to myself and took it. Ah, yes. I found the last tool to make my final plan to dominate the world. I laughed to myself and laid on my stomach on the carpet. Using the pen and notebook, I wrote out some lines stating, "This is dangerous to read. Do not look, please. Kokichiyoma, because this is totally boring." I laughed again under my breath, before drawing a little chibi version of myself making a classic creepy face. I still find it so entertaining that this facial expression can still scare the shit out of Shuichi. Absolutely adorable. Shuichi is so odd to me. I feel like in some ways he is easier to read, but then at other moments, he is a closed book with a lock over the front. A digital lock for that matter. One I can't pick. That just makes me infuriated. I hate not being able to do something, or even not being able to understand something. I want to know, and I want to win in the sense of being one step in front of everyone else. It's almost addicting. Putting in all the extra work to make sure that I am ahead, and that I understand things on another level, is my own personal addiction. Or maybe my own personal hell. I do like making things more difficult for myself. It makes it all the more interesting. Kokichi? I heard a voice call out. I almost freaked out, but I quickly put together that it was Shuichi. "Yes, my beloved Shumai, who I do so much?" I asked, making sure I said it quickly, just to confuse him. I didn't understand a word," he whispered, moving closer to me. I was on the floor, lying on my stomach with the notebook of random drawings and small comics on it. He moved so he was next to me, but he positioned his chest on my back, and wrapped his arms around my shoulders. He hummed with the same hum he would make when he was deep in thought. So, Shumai, what are you doing out of bed getting so close to me? I asked in a teasing tone. Shuichi slowly moves to put his head on my shoulder, tilting it so I could see his face as he smiled tiredly. I want to be close to you all the time, he whispered in an almost husky voice. I know he didn't mean to do that intentionally, but my face heats up fast. So fast I wasn't sure if I was blushing or if I was just warm because of Shuichi's warmth. Close to me, huh? I asked as my voice made an embarrassing crack. I blushed even more and furrowed my brow, moving my hand in front of my face, covering my eyes while I recovered the direct hit to my confidence. I mean, in all honesty, knowing that Shuichi, an attractive male who I have certain feelings for, is tired, clingy, cuddly, warm, painfully attractive, and immune to my flirting and teasing, I can't handle this. I have no weapons to put the embarrassment back on him. I need to think of something. I'm kinda tired, but seeing that you are awake makes me want to stay awake with you too. He smiled softly, leaning closer to rest his face against my own. I feel even more embarrassed, and I wanted to bolt to the bathroom to calm the fuck down so I stopped being such a damned mess. But the way he was acting was so endearing. It made me feel like that would be abandoning him, and I do not want to abandon people I care about. I do everything in my power to be able to support them, even if it's hard to tell because of the teasing and pranks I pull on them and others. Well, you don't have to do that, my beloved, but if you are offering, then I can show you my plan for world domination. I whispered the last part in his ear after moving my lips to gently brush against his cheek. But I want to, because you're so nice to be around, even if you are a bit much. He laughed a little bit, letting his eyes close for a moment, before moving to look at me. So, I would like to see your plan for world domination. Sure, it's not a legit plan, but with you, I can't be sure. Putting his hand to his chin, he let out a sigh. Here, it's all in this notebook. I was cut off by Shuichi picking me up after moving away from me on the floor. Shuichi?